Hello everyone, they have finally met. Today I'll be reading One Piece chapter 1178. So, in the last chapter, we got some phenomenal stuff, especially toward the end. But starting off with the beginning of the chapter, we saw Zoro and the Giants face off against the Domi Reversi Giants. And it was cool, right? Not the most, interesting of things, but, it was cool to see some of the Domi Reversi Giants get absolutely destroyed. They got like bisected, and Zoro whipped out a new move, and it was just Oda picking off from where he left off in the last chapter, the chapter before that. So that was cool. And then we got to see the Chopper stuff, and the Chopper stuff is crazy because if you saw my reaction last week, I didn't even want to comment on the Chopper stuff because I didn't even honestly I didn't even really know what was going on, and there was so much in my head. I'm like, you know what, this is I don't even want to begin to speculate because I don't even know, right? And I said in that last reaction video that, throughout the week, I'm probably going to think about it more and then I'll have a more solid idea. Yeah, right. Not just me, the whole community has, been having so much theories about Chopper and, the forest god and, crazy stuff. And, but TLDR, I do believe it's because of his devil fruit. I don't think it's because of anything else. I do think it's because of Chopper's devil fruit. I think it makes sense that he would have at this point, right, like an upgrade to his devil fruit, because he's obviously a member of the Straw Hats, and we see Luffy and his devil fruit has evolved, right, Gear 5 and all that. Brook, we saw a little bit of evolution there at the beginning of the time skip. I wonder if we're gonna get some more of that sort of more devil fruit abilities from Brook. But Chopper, and Chopper's gotten stuff in the time skip, right? We saw at the beginning of the time skip, and then we got to see kind of what he could do with Monster Point, like for more time, right? More duration in that form in Wano. But like truly the next evolution of Chopper, and by that I mean like an awakening or something, that has not been fulfilled yet. And Chopper's a Straw Hat. He's not going to be the strongest Straw Hat of all time, but Oda's always going to give the Straw Hats their power-ups. So I think and we're in the final saga, I think it's time for Chopper to get something. I think it makes sense if Oda's trying to weave it into here. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to be Forest God necessarily, but honestly, it could be, right? Chopper's devil fruit, people brought it up and they're right. Like Chopper's devil fruit, is it really like just the human fruit? Because even Chopper in his full beast form doesn't look like a human, right? You're supposed to completely embody your animal, right? Chopper was literally shot at in like the woods because people thought he was a monster, right? He looked like a Yeti, but that, Yetis aren't humans. So super weird, right? He has human qualities, but then even in his full beast form, he's never a human. And even in his monster point, he's even less of a human. So there's definitely weird stuff going on. And I think it's due to his devil fruit, but we'll see. So that's that. Very interesting stuff with Chopper. Wonder if we'll get some of that in this chapter. But next we got to see some of the Straw Hat, interactions. Loki interacting with it. It was so fun, right? Nami scolding them, Loki's face, the Ragnar panel, patting Luffy on the back. That was so awesome. That was great. That was so funny. Great, right? And we saw Killian get packed up. Well, we didn't see him get packed up, but we kind of saw the aftermath, and makes me wonder about regeneration, because I guess if you just chop them up and like Buggy style, you can't. So does that mean the God's Knights have to get their body parts back? Like, I don't know, because we saw, Gabon chop off Summers' hand, like, earlier in the arc, and then he grew it back, but did he have to, like, physically grab the hand that was on the ground? Because, Gabon didn't blow it up, he just chopped it off. Did he have to, like, weird, like, delaying, like, the regeneration not happening, I still have questions about regeneration in general, so that was interesting. And then obviously star of the show, Usopp moment. Yeah, that was, I'm not gonna go into detail. I gushed about it last chapter, but it was awesome. It was amazing. I saw some people say it could have used more buildup, and it did. It definitely did. It kind of, narratively, right, kind of came out of nowhere, but I was Usopp brain rotted. You saw in that reaction, I literally made the prediction that Usopp was gonna do something, and because he wasn't in the chapter before, and he wasn't even in with the Straw Hats talking in the last chapter. So I'm like, Oda's gonna do something with him, and he did. So I wasn't surprised in that sense. But obviously, if you're reading, there still should have been some sort of indication, like Brook, Usopp spotting Brook or something. I definitely agree. So that could have been handled a little better. But either way, right? That is like almost I'd rather have that as an issue than, the dialogue that Usopp's giving, and it was absolutely amazing. So that was great. And then Luffy coming at the end, and I did not talk about this enough in the last reaction for the last chapter, because I was focused on Usopp, but here I want to emphasize, Luffy and Imu are meeting technically for the first time, right? It's not Imu like Imu themselves in their own body, but it's, it's through another body, but it's Imu and Luffy facing off basically for the first time, right? And so we'll get into, they'll face off in the future, and it'll be like real, right? It'll be the actual Imu, but this is still very important. This is crazy, and this is, I want to, not understate this, right? I am very hyped for this. I'm very, I want to see Luffy. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see Luffy say, I'm Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm gonna be king of the pirates. I want to see that moment, maybe. Imu just, oh my god, and Loki's there too. But Luffy and Imu meeting each other. This is a big, Luffy meeting the villains, right? Luffy meeting Kaido, Luffy meeting Doflamingo, and like, all these other different villains, like Enel. Like when Luffy squares up against a villain for the first time, it's like, okay, let's see. So like it's about to go down. So. That's I just wanted to emphasize that, because we're gonna see that, and it's gonna be amazing. So very excited for this chapter. In terms of predictions, actually in terms of spoilers first, I don't think I got spoiled. Well, it's weird. I don't think I got big spoilers. I remember on Monday I saw that the chapter was trending on Twitter, but I'm pretty sure even Monday I don't even think the briefs are out. So I think it was just leakers hyping it up. So that's why it was trending, probably. And then I saw this, okay, I don't even know if this is a spoiler. This might not even be a spoiler, but last night I saw like this fan art of like this egg character or something, like on the main sub, on the main One Piece subreddit, like this fan art. It was fan art, pretty sure. And then, yeah, definitely. And then I looked at the comments, I'm like, oh, what is this like random, fan art? What is this character? Is it like freaking, Vinsmoke Romeo, or like what was going on? And, I looked at the comments, and then someone even asked, I think it was like the top comment, they were like, where is this from? And then someone said, oh, you people, it just started yesterday. And I'm like, yesterday, okay, that's recent. Is it because of the latest chapter? And I think I saw another reply to the comment say spoilers, like when someone asked, like when someone inquired about, this fan art's existence. So I don't know, right? It could have to do with the chapter, because I think I'm pretty sure the Raws were probably out like when they said, oh, yesterday, they probably meant yesterday, like at 12 a.m. or something my time, and the Raws came out. I don't know. So that's in terms of spoilers, kind of weird, but. And then obviously I saw, I think I mentioned last chapter, I saw the preview, the Shonen Jump preview for this chapter, last chapter. Which basically said Luffy and Imu facing off, and liberation versus domination or whatever. I don't know. And the Straw Hats, facing off against someone else. I don't know. But okay, in terms of actual predictions, let's get into that. I think we're gonna obviously see Imu and Loki. Luffy and Loki fight Imu, right? And I'm very excited, because this is gonna be a fight. This is gonna be a fight. At least I hope. I don't know. I want to see Imu. How much is Imu going to talk, right? We saw Imu kind of give some lore drops and the God Valley, stuff in the flashback. So I wonder if Imu is going to be as talkative or like not as talkative. I don't know. And then I assume, we're going to see that. And then the Straw Hats will have to, I'm sure the Straw Hats are going to do something, right? I don't think the rest of this arc is going to be like, just Luffy and Loki fighting Imu the rest of the arc. Like, I think there's going to be something else. I think there's going to be a scale of an escalation of tension with Imu. Maybe something happens. I don't know. And I think hopefully Usopp gets something more, because last chapter was great. It was a great moment, but I hope just a little bit more. Just a little bit more, right? Like kind of like almost like Usopp gets a little bit of a W, like, capping it off in a way. So yeah, those are my predictions, I guess, / hopes. But yeah, and also I had this like weird thought, like I think this week I'm like, what if we just cut to the outside world? I mean, this is kind of like a perfect-ish spot to like cut, because like we're about to face off against Imu, and that's Oda could be like, nope, we're gonna be here for this chapter. We're gonna be here for the next 2 chapters. So I was like thinking, like, dude, what if we cut to the outside world? But nah, I don't think so. Especially with that Shonen Jump preview, although those are also wrong sometimes. But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, and as always, an L and a rouge, please, Oda. Let's read the chapter. Let's see if this website has the TCB version. Also, let's guess the reader request. Let's say it's gonna be, we got Robin. Should I just guess a Straw Hat? I think it's been Straw Hats the last couple ones. Yeah, we'll guess Frankie. We'll guess Frankie, right? I swear it's not gonna be Straw Hat. Whatever. Is this TCB? No, this is not even TCB. Okay, come on, let me read TCB. I'm not trying to read OP scans or, okay, I need to go to TCB scans. Pardon me, let me find the website to the TCB scan. Nope, this is not it. I might see the chapter title. Okay, I haven't seen it, but okay. I pulled up the TCB scans because I prefer the TCB translations. Right, chapter 1178, A Fading Nightmare. Fading, like going away? Fading? What? Like what? Is Imu going to be defeated here? What does that mean? A fading nightmare. That's interesting, okay. Imu, maybe that has to do with Killingham? Is Killingham going to do stuff? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Kid? Oh my god, it's Kid. Wait. Okay, wait. I was going to say something, but I don't think it's correct. I'll say it right now, but wait, I'll read the cover. Cover request. Cover request by Nanaka Onita. Okay, I think I said that right. Probably not. Kid runs from a bull charging at his jacket, right? Because the jacket's red and, you know, bulls, you know, they like red. It's a thing, right? But yeah, Kid. Oh, Kid, oh my god, I just realized Kid is doing the Nika pose. He's not dancing. He's running away, but hey, Kid doing the Nika dance? Yo, I can see it has rubbed off on Eustace over here. Good old Eustace. But yeah, we see Kid, which is great. And funny thing, this is what I was going to mention. I don't think I'm wrong about this. I was going to say, it's been 100 chapters since, almost 100 chapters since Shanks beat Kid, right? But I was going to say exactly 100, but I'm pretty sure it was actually 1079 instead of 1078, which is this chapter. But I also, now that I think about it, I think this is the last, is that the last time we've seen Kid? I don't think we've seen Kid in other, like, cover requests. I think literally the last time we saw Kid is when he got packed up by Shanks. And then now we're seeing him here almost 100 chapters later on a reader request. Oh my god. But yeah, we see Kid. He looks like Kid. Maybe this is what Kid's dreaming about in the bottom of the ocean, right? He should be in the Elbaf Seas, bro. What if he shows up this chapter? Oh my god. Crazy. Probably not, but I don't think he's not, because no, I don't think Kid's gonna show up, and I'm not gonna get into this whole thing, but I don't think Kid's gonna show up because, like, at this point Oda would have teased them. He would have, like, brought him in. No, it just doesn't make sense if he shows up. Maybe he shows up post arc, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's Kid. Bottom of DC right here. Cool. Kind of. I like Kid doing the Nika pose and stuff. Nice to see Kid again. I'm not a Kid hater, by the way. I know people freaking hate Kid. I like Kid. I like Kid. He got packed up by my goat, but Kid. I mean, he asked for it, bro. I'm not gonna. That was kind of his fault, but I like Kid. I like his character. We got Oda note this week. Sanma Akashiya came to the live action screening and gave me a piece of gum. I wanted to chew it for the rest of my life. I don't know who this is. Is this like an executive or like what's going on? I don't know who that is. But the live action screening, I watched the live action, by the way. It was good. It was good. It was better than season 1 for sure. And I'm can't wait for season 3. But yeah, that's Oda note. Wants to chew gum. Okay, moving on. Here we go. Oh my god. Okay, we're not cutting away to the outside world. I was like, what if it just says the Holy Land, Marie Joie, 5 hours ago. That's crazy. I don't know. But okay, we got Luffy and Loki confront Gunko. That's the Shonen Jump text. We get to see some of the Straw Hats. We kind of get a shot of them close up, and they're kind of looking from afar, I think. We got Frankie over here, Frankie, Nami, Jinbei, Sanji, right there. They still got Killingham's body parts, so it's the same. It's a different perspective of what we already see. What we've already seen, right? Luffy's saying, "Hey, What's happening? And we got Jinbei saying, Luffy. Huh? Brook? Usopp? Oh, Luffy, like, oh, he brought them back. Okay. So, yeah, Luffy didn't just immediately start throwing hands, right? He's like, let me get these guys back to, our crew, so they can get, healed up a little bit. Chopper's not here, unfortunately, which, well, he's here on this island, obviously, but he's not close. Hopefully, maybe they can get closer. But Nami's like, huh, Brook, Usopp? Luffy's like, I'll leave them to you. And he, sets them down. What's going on over there? Says, I think Nami again. Frankie says, need backup? I'll count on you if things get bad, says Luffy. For now, I'd take a few steps back if I were you. And Luffy's looking angry, right? We saw Luffy angry at the end of the last chapter, because, broken Usopp, right? That's, this is Nakama. And, yeah, so he's like, for now, I'd take a few steps back if I were you. And Luffy's like, Loki's a real wild card. And then Sanji's like, look who's talking, right? The freaking wild card saying that. But yeah, so I guess did Loki probably already started fighting, dude. Luffy's like, let me get these guys over here. I'll let you start off the fight. But yeah, Loki's a real wild card. Next panel. Oh shit, we're going into that. Loki immediately firing. Oh my god, I just realized the IMU Loki stuff. Oh my god, there's gonna be revelations here. It's gonna be crazy. Oh my god, dude, I'm so excited. Here we go. Loki saying, "'Twas but a few years ago." Wait, is this? No. I think this is IMU. This is IMU talking. Loki currently has his mouth open, ready to fire like a Thorheim, probably, or something. But, IMU says, "'Twas but a few years ago when a giant ship was glimpsed at sea." Few years ago, are you just referring to when Shanks was? Wait, what does glimpsed mean? I literally don't know what that means. Let's look it up real quick. Glimpsed. Oh, just like glimpsed? Wait, does it say glimpsed? It says glimpsed. I'm just gonna assume that means glimpse, like took a glimpse at it, but okay, but a few years ago. I'm assuming this is kind of around when a few years ago. IMU doesn't say, actually maybe 14 years. 14 years ago is probably a few years ago for IMU. IMU has lived for hundreds of years, but I'm sure they're referring to like 6 years ago, around there, when Loki was out at sea. 'Twas but a few years ago when a giant ship was glimpsed at sea, helmed by a captain of truly immense stature. That craft was never identified, for it skulked deep within fog-shrouded regions. Okay, so they're talking about Loki, right? Loki, being spotted out at sea a couple times, and being deep within fog-shrouded regions. Was Loki in, the Florian Triangle? Probably did Moria, because Moria and Hogback started working, I think 10 years ago, actually 12 years ago, if you include the time skip, I'm pretty sure. So they could have met, they probably met Loki. Maybe, I don't know. Helmed by a captain of truly immense stature. Okay, so this is just like rumors, I guess, Emu's referring to. Yet it only ever targeted world government vessels. Interesting. Okay, so Loki's, I don't want to get into the, I don't want to, get into a whole commentary about this, but I need to know what Loki did in those 8 years, right? He was out at sea for 8 years, and he said he was going to take down Marijois. So what was his plan of action, right? He obviously didn't immediately go to Marijois. So was he just, bumming around the ocean, just freaking, I guess, destroying Cyberpole ships or whatever, like, what he was describing for 8 years? Like, what, like, I don't know. Just, I've always been curious about that, but maybe this gets elaborated here. Yet it only ever targeted world government vessels. Okay, next panel, the Thorheim attack just lands and I think Imu probably just tanks it. I don't know. Luffy's running back in the air, like with the cartoon flying in the air. Hey, leave some for me, says Luffy, and he's charging over there. Coming back to Loki and Imu, and Imu's now sort of in the air right now, kind of probably just flew up, maybe. During that same period, a number of credible rumors started to emerge. She got away. Where did she get to? Damn, she's too damn small. This is Loki talking. Obvious. I mean, yeah, she's really small compared to Loki, so I guess Loki, very hard to keep track of Imu. But continue on with Imu. I'll just repeat what she said, or what they said, right? Gunko, I'm just going to call him Imu. During that same period, a number of credible rumors started to emerge. concerning the sighting of an unimaginably large flying beast. Okay, so that confirms Loki used his devil fruit like when he was out at sea. At least in these fog shrouded regions, probably, and it makes a lot of sense. If Loki's huge, if he uses devil fruit outside of Elbath, he's gonna be noticed easily. He's easily gonna be noticed. So yeah, the truth is plain to see now. So this is sort of IMU, yeah, just realizing it, right? IMU's heard of these rumors, and clearly Loki didn't attack the Holy Land, right? Because IMU would have seen that. But the IMU started to connect the rumors with what they are seeing right now with this big, flying beast. Next panel, Luffy's saying, "There you are. You'll pay for what you did to Usopp and Brook." And we get, two other panels showing Usopp and Brook, and they are knocked the frick out, dude. Chopper, where are you, bro? Next panel, huh? Whoa, what the fuck is happening? IMU, okay, IMU like moved back, or I guess, Gunko's body moved back, and a freaking like black, energy just coming out of them, or what the hell? And Luffy's like, eyes popping out. What the hell? Oh, okay. I'm seeing the next panel a little bit. Okay, so IMU's literally, whoa, this is what they did to, so this is like almost similar to like Saturn, right? Because Saturn was also possessed, but at the same time, we saw IMU's like silhouette like coming out of their back, out of Saturn's back, but it was still possession. But here we're now seeing, the IMU literally coming out of Gunko, right? Like IMU, like silhouette. Okay, next panel. Something came out. Now Luffy's really seeing IMU. Now Luffy's really seeing IMU right here. Oh my god. Something came out. If only thou were erased from the world, as Rox was before thee. Oh my gosh, what's Loki gonna say? He knows that's his go. That's his go right there, Rox. If only, we're erased from the world as Rox was before thee. Is Loki gonna get Domi Reversi? I don't know, man. There's some parallels going on here. What does IMU do? Okay, so IMU's also got like two little tendrils, like two little arms, basically. And at the ends of those arms, they summon these. In the next panel, we see these like Doctor freaking Pentagram, Doctor Strange circles. Just pentagrams, right? Two pentagrams kind of spawning in at the ends of their tendrils. They're swirling around. Oh wait, is this Domi Reversi? Yeah, this is like kind of similar to what they did, but IMU's using two of them, two circles. Is it because Loki's like really big? What's happening? Or one for IMU, one for not one for IMU, one for Loki, one for Luffy. Oh my god! Wait, swirl. Akuro, don't know how to pronounce that. Demonic covenant. Thou shalt, this is the same, speech. Thou shalt cast aside a portion of thy lifespan and receive unprecedented strength. Luffy gets... No, what is happening? No. Okay. Multiple things could happen here. Luffy could be... It could be ineffective against Luffy, but effective against Loki, or both, or neither. Oh my god, I don't know. Luffy gets stabbed by one. But this is weird, because it's like rocks. No. This is the rocks method. But we didn't see a circle for Rox. We just saw IMU stab Rox. And IMU didn't even give the whole, spiel. The whole, demonic covenant. I don't think they needed to, but... Probably not, but... I think it's safe to say they are getting Domi Reversi, or at least IMU's attempting to do that, in the same way as Rox. So they're not being flipped. They're just being injected with whatever, and just, then, turning demonic. They both get stabbed, or Loki gets stabbed in the head. Huh? Says Loki. In exchange for this blessing, thou shalt Whoa! Oh! What? Wait. Is this part of the covenant, or is this just something extra? Because IMU told Dory and Brogy their orders were to kill Jarl, right? But I don't think that was part of the covenant, right? I think listening to IMU is part of the covenant, but the specific order, I don't think was part of the spell. Although I guess you can just kind of, say it was part of the spell. But in exchange for this blessing, thou shalt loathe each other. Bro, this is recreating what happened. The lore we learned of the war god versus the sun god. And they were always fighting each other. And bro, that's literally coming to life now. Thou shalt loathe. IMU's just going to have them fight each other. Domi Reversi. Oh, and whoa, IMU's also linking them up. Whoa, this is weird. This is crazy. So IMU could stab them, but the tendrils are. Oh wait, no, this is okay. Never mind. Okay, I'm stupid. Emu's in the middle. It was just so zoomed out that I didn't even register what that thing in the middle. It's just Emu. Emu's now, freaking, arm this way, arm that way, and they're in the middle. Okay, I thought Emu was like sort of connecting the tendrils, but no, the tendrils are, we saw them. They're coming out of Emu. So, Domi Reversi, is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work? Next panel. Oh my god, Luffy and Loki looking very serious. Nothing seems to be happening. They got like sweat dripping down their faces. This is very similar to like the Roger, was it the Roger and Garp panel, like in God Valley, the kind of side by side. Okay, next panel. What's the big idea? This thing doesn't even hurt. Oh, it doesn't work, maybe, because it didn't hurt for rocks either, right? It doesn't hurt, but it does turn you into a demon. Luffy just rips it off. He's like, get this out of here. What is this? And then Loki's like, what a pain. Wait, did you just say rocks? Yeah, Emu said rocks. So does it not work? Oh my god, what? Okay, let's see what Emu says. As expected, huh? Okay, what's Emu? What? Okay, as expected, these two are truly, can they literally, is it like a willpower thing? Did rocks not have enough willpower to, what? Okay, let's read. As expected, these two are truly, and Emu saying this in their head. Luffy, gum, no. We got Gatling, probably. Okay, they got freaking Loki saying, she's too puny to fight like this. And Ragnar, I forgot Ragnar's here. Ragnar's on Loki's head right now. Squeak. Loki, can't even see Emu very clearly. Luffy, ready punch. Got armament hockey on there. Emu, it's a freaking horizontal rectangle panel of Emu's eyes. Okay. Booming Dawn Gatling. Oh my god, very similar. Okay, so this is, I think this is the attack Luffy used against Saturn with Bonnie at the end of Egghead, I'm pretty sure. But this is very similar to, oh my god, like grandfather, like grandson. Oh my god, this is a very similar sort of like perspective, and literally similar attack to when Garp and Roger did their attack against rocks in God Valley. And I think, what did Garp use? Like Galaxy Infinitum or something like that? Infinite? I don't even know. But I forgot. But it was that, right? It was that, and now Luffy's using this against Emu, and Emu's getting a bunch of holes, blown in them, and, probably going to regenerate, but probably using Conqueror's Haki, hopefully Luffy is. But yeah, very similar sort of, like, drawn panel to, like the one in God Valley. Ragnar! Oh my god, Loki! Oh, Loki's back in his, yeah, that makes sense. If he's super big and he has a problem seeing Emu, obviously he's gonna go back to his, he didn't go into his hybrid, though. He's back to his base form. Okay, Ragnar. Squeak. We see Loki holding up Ragnar, and Ragnar, now we can see, Ragnar's face, like the squirrel, and the little ears now popping out of, Ragnar itself. Right, we didn't see that before. Interesting, okay. Move it, Luffy. Squeak! Whoa, hold up, says Luffy. Let me see Emu, a bunch of holes in them. Loki readying up an attack. Double page spread. Here we go. Niflheim. Yes, this is okay. This is the attack Loki used. And oh my god, did Loki like encaged? He like encased them in like a block of ice, including Luffy maybe? I don't know. I can't tell. Emu's definitely in like a block of ice. What the hell? Niflheim, right? That's the attack we see. Very cool. Okay. Yeah, Loki sort of like smacks Emu, but like, now we see, like, in this attack, Loki's, like, smacking a block of ice. So, like, almost, like, just immediately directly spawned a block of ice in, which is encasing Emu now. Okay. Niflheim. And, yeah, we see Gunko, Emu just frozen in there. Oh, it's cracking. Conqueror's Haki. It's probably, probably going to instantly burst. Crack. Wow, is that your finishing move? Says, Loki. But I wasn't done ass kicking yet, says Luffy. And actually, Luffy doesn't get to finish his sentence. Crack. Oh, no, what? No, Luffy lost Gear 5. What? How has it already been, how much time has passed by? What? Bro, no, how is Luffy already out of Gear 5? What? I mean, he used it. No, the last time he used it was with Gabon. He didn't even use... Bro, Luffy has not even been in Gear 5 for that long in this arc. He used it, briefly at the beginning of the arc in, the roads like Legoland. And then he used it briefly against, Gabon, but he didn't even do anything with it. And then now he used it here, and now he's like, what the fuck? Okay. Poof. Loki says, I have no idea what you are, but... And then Luffy falls to the ground. But doing it this way is much quicker. Besides, I was way too big for way too long. So Loki and the emu's still encased in the ice. And we see Loki and Luffy, and, you know, the big ice block is there. Right, I think, yeah. So Loki's, you know, I have no idea what you are, right, talking to Emu, but doing this is much quicker, yeah. So huffing and puffing there, okay. Next panel. Okay. Oh, we're switching perspectives. Elbaf Fishing Village. Okay, focus on putting out the fires. That Loki prick, okay, obviously, you know, what's going on with Emu, clearly it's not over, right, but I guess we're seeing this. Focus on putting out the fires. That Loki prick may have taken down the monsters for us, but cleaning up after him is its own calamity. So they're, you know, trying to clean up the this whole, you know, the fishing village, okay. Hunting village. So we were wrong about Loki killing King Harald. We may have misjudged him there, but look at this mess. He's still a pain in the ass, Maverick. Okay. Switching perspectives to Nami. Go, Zeus, keep pouring. I'll do my best. And Zeus is, you know, raining. Sea Cloud, says Jinbei. Shoulder throw. And he, you know, I guess, you know, throws some sea clouds to help. And then freaking Lilith is over here saying even the ODCs have limits, you know? So I guess Lilith can't just spam ODCs, right? Because that instantly, you know, got rid of the fire in the school and the library. Okay. What is Oda doing here with this kind of de-escalation of tension? West Village. We're going back here. Okay. Whoa. Did we do it? Oh, we're going back. Okay. See Brogy, you know, all the giants there. Did we do it? Says Brogy. Huff, huff. Hyruden says, if they all flip back to white, then yeah. Have they not flipped back to white? Okay. But if some start to regenerate, then it wasn't enough. Okay. Huff, huff. Dory says, or I think Dory says, forgive... No, I think one of the giant warrior pirates that, you know, probably got flipped says, forgive us, chiefs. It was like some kind of malicious darkness swallowed us whole. Dory says, don't fret over it. We couldn't resist it either. Next panel. Damn you, Captain. So there's some other Domi Reversi giants that are still regenerating, so they weren't fully killed. How dare you? There's still 2 or 3 left. Chopper. Oh, Chopper's here, right? We see Chopper in freaking his walk point. I see, you know, his foot. He's moving over here. I'm guessing, you know, he realized maybe he probably still doesn't understand, but he realizes now that he can, you know, one-shot the Domi Reversi giants, right? Just slapping them. So he's going to come over here and, you know, show off and try to get these last 2 or 3, I guess. All right, I got this. Zoro trying to, you know, do it first, but then Chopper comes in and says, yeah, and he smacks these 2 giants before Zoro does anything, and they're like, Chopper? Yeah, and they get into, the demons. And we see the demon. This time it's a little different. Instead of, you know, Chopper smacks them from behind, so this time the demons are coming out from in front, as opposed to, you know, the other way around, last chapter. So yeah, the demons come out of them, they go on the ground, they flip, or they begin to flip. Huh? And, you know, yeah, so the Domi Reversi giants themselves are also confused. They're like, what? Chopper says, Zoro, what the hell did you just do? Says Zoro. Is like, what did you do, my son? What did you do? No idea. Seems like I can undo their demonification just by hitting them. So yeah, Chopper doesn't know. Okay, so if this is with his devil fruit, I was also thinking, like, how's this information going to be delivered to, like, us, the audience, right? Unless, like, Oda just, like, you know, throws the narrator at us to tell us, but probably not going to do that. So I was thinking it's probably Lilith, right? And Chopper's probably going to ask Lilith, you know, why can't I do this? And then I swear, Lilith is going to be like, oh yeah, I mean, I thought you knew this, but, like, you have the Hito no Mi model, mythical type model forest god. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's in the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia. I thought you knew. And Chopper's like, what? It's probably, Lilith is probably going to be the one to, you know, reveal the secret, right? Because it's Vegapunk. But next panel, we got Zoro saying, huh? Maybe it's because you're an amazing doctor? Of course, Zoro would say. I mean, Zoro doesn't fucking know. He doesn't know, but nice answer. Probably not the correct one, but good compliment, yeah. What? Speaking of compliment, Chopper, what? Don't you dare think that that kind of praise makes me happy, because it doesn't, you jerk. And then Someone else says, nah, that's got to be it. You are. Even Broke is like, no, you're right. No, it is because you're an amazing doctor. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. That's a cute interaction. Hyruden says, well, we've sorted out the mess around here. Wonder how the others are doing. Okay, so Oda is de-escalating. He's been de-escalating tension since the start of since we came back from the flashback. Little by little, Oda's been chipping away at the tension, right? Every single issue has been slowly chipped away. He was focusing on the children's stuff, and now, even with Emu defeat, now we're chilling. Something's gonna happen. Oda's gonna, obviously something's gonna happen. Emu's gonna break out of there, and Emu's gonna freaking start going crazy. Something's gonna happen. And it's probably gonna be the cliffhanger for this chapter. Here we go. Let's move on. Let's zoom in real quick. Next page. Did we switch perspectives? No, we're still in the West Village. No sign of enemy activity in Artisan Village. Oh no, these are different villages using the Den and Mushis to communicate. No sign of the enemy activity in Artisan Village. More fires have broken out, though. I wish we could see these villages, to be honest. I hope maybe, I don't know, we're probably not going to get an opportunity to explore a lot of these places, but hopefully, maybe, I don't know, maybe post-arc, I don't know. More fires have broken out, though. We got to see some other giants. No foes in Alcohol Village either. Just raging flames. This is the village from the Estrid's family was from. Get to see, like, another village, and they're just, conversing, and we don't see what they're saying in the Den and Mushi, but I'm assuming they're just, like, giving more comms and all that. Switching perspectives back to, what is this? Seems like seems like all that's left is to extinguish the fires. Keep your eyes peeled in case any of those demons are still alive out there. Probably referring to either Domi Reversi giants or like the nightmare creatures. Next panel, Owl Library. Yeah, Robin and Saul, we didn't see them last chapter because they went off, to the library to make sure Biblo, we're gonna see Biblo. Yo, Biblo. Owl Library. Saul, says Robin. What's going on here, says Saul. There's definite fire damage, but the shelves are empty. What the fuck? Did Biblo take them all out? What is happening? Okay, so they're saying there's definite fire damage, right? Because the fire was raging a little bit. But the shelves are empty. There should at least be fragments of books left. What did Biblo cook, bro? What is Biblo cooking? Biblo's the only one who could have done it. Biblo the owl ain't here neither. Where's Biblo? Yo, what is happening? Biblo just took all the... No, Biblo did not take all the... Who could have done this? Is this Biblo? Is this someone else? Is Kid here? No, he's not. He's not. But who else could have done it? Is there another God's Knight here? No. no. Biblo the owl ain't here neither. I'll just keep on reading. I don't want to be too optimistic, but, says Robin, you think he might have moved the books? I'd be overjoyed if he did that, but even if that were possible, where did he go? Yeah, what the fuck? Next panel, Sanji and Frankie, and, we're back here. Sanji saying things got wrapped up pretty quickly once we went on the offense. That's exactly. That is literally, yes. Sanji, things got wrapped up pretty quickly once we went on the offensive, huh? Yeah, things started wrapping up pretty quickly once Oda came out of the flashback and we started to actually fight back. What's happening? Frankie says, well, it ain't like this was a full-on war against their whole organization, I don't know, Frank. This wasn't a full-on war. I wonder if that's ever going to happen. Yeah, you're clear. There, soon enough. No, Straw Hats, soon enough, you're going to be wrapped up into a whole... Yeah, exactly that. You're going to be wrapped up into a whole-ass war against the world government. But not now, I guess. But Frankie makes a good point, right? Yeah, they're not... This wasn't... this is not the raid on Onigashima, right? Where they're, freaking, No, this is just... We're just dealing with this issue. This isn't a full-on war. So, yeah, it's not going to be that difficult to deal with these things. And Killing M's like, It's like trying to say something that starts with an M. What? But Frankie continues, even if these guys are Knights of the Holy Land, there were only 3 of them. Is Killing M going to be like, actually, we got 4 more of us, and if we were all here, you guys would be cooked. But moving on, yeah, it's insane how thoroughly they managed to devastate somewhere as massive as Elbaf. Killing M says, what happened to the Great One? So I guess, does Killing M sense that Emu's not moving, or like what's happening? Interesting. Next panel, outskirts of the West Village. Really interesting chapter. Okay. Outskirts of the West Village. Okay, why are we here? Wait, what is that? Okay, let me reorient. Okay, so we're in the outside. I don't think we've ever been here before. So we see the West Village. We're sort of like in a forest. I mean, when we say forest, it's just freaking all the part. We're on the tree, right? It's a little weird, but we're in the outskirts. Okay, we see like this little like almost like a destroyed the remains of like a destroyed building. Is this like a footprint? What is someone's hand? What is happening here? There's like a bunch of ellipses. Who's here? Oh, this is Summers. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is... Remember when Loki smacked him on the ground? This is Loki's hand. This was Loki's hand in his beast form, smacking Summers to the ground. And now Summers is in pieces. Damn it. We got Summers' heart? What the hell? It's that... Summers, we see the bottom of Summers' face, like split here. The top of his head. And his heart? Damn it. Thump, thump. Here we go. Ouch. Is he trying to regenerate, probably? Ouch, ouch, ouch. We just see that. Okay, moving on. Luffy's group. Loki, I'm hungry. Go back to the village, then. It ain't like I carry food on me. What's with that weird look, anyway? Yeah, Loki doesn't know what the hell going on and what's going on. Squirrel, I'm hungry. Oh, Luffy is like, you look at emergency food. Squeak, says Ragnar, probably like, no, you're not going to eat me. Emu's still. What is Emu cooking? He was trying to get the jump on them. He was like, let me troll a little bit. Let me make them think I'm dead and just dealt with, and boom, coming out. But Emu ... Emu's sort of moving and reacting, and Emu still has holes in them. I guess the freezing is preventing the regeneration. Maybe, I don't know. Emu disappears. It says poof. What? So I guess the stuff coming out of Gunko is probably just dissipated. The Holy Land of Rizua! Oh my god, I didn't see what was happening in this panel. Wait, did Emu just give up? Is Emu not controlling Gunko anymore? What is happening? What is happening? We're in the Holy Land. We're in the Holy Land. Is it in the Sea of Flames? We saw in a couple chapters ago that it wasn't on fire, but I don't know. Oh my god, I'm nervous. Let's read. Fuck. Here we go. Fuck. Let me lock in. Here we go. Oh my god, wait, what the hell? Okay. My heart's kind of beating. The Holy Land of Marijois. I'm only looking at that panel. Let me scroll down a little bit. Is this, what? Is there destroyed buildings? What is this? So we see Pangea Castle, but in the actual town, there's a bunch of rubble? Yeah, so it's not in a sea of flame. Is that maybe fire in the back? I don't think that's fire, but maybe the fire's put out, but there's rubble. There's the remains of buildings. What is happening? Oh, okay, log in. Pangea Castle Flower Room. Elders. Emu's back? Or Emu's just back in... Okay, Elders. Yes, great Emu. Says the Elders, probably. The Holy Land will be without move for a short while. What? What? Oh, what? This mean Emu's coming? It's an Elbaf One Piece chapter 1178 end. Could Emu really be going there? Says the Shonen Jump text. Oh, we're cooked. We're cooked! We're cooked! No, we're cooked! We're fucking cooked! No, we're done. Series is ending. Straw Hats are losing. We're cooked. We're done. We fucking lost. No, we're done. Because this whole conversation has been about Emu. Emu's on Elbaf. Luffy's gonna fight Emu, and I talked about it at the beginning of this reaction. I was like, they're facing off for the first time, but it's not actually Emu. That's how we're probably gonna win, right? Emu is going to be Emu's through Gunko. Emu's not at their full power. Emu doesn't technically have full control because Gunko could just take control back. That Emu's gonna be beaten that way, but. Bottom line, we're not fighting the actual Emu. That was the whole conversation. We're not actually fighting Emu. Bro, the Holy Land will be without move for a short... What is Emu? Emu's gonna teleport there, right? Emu obviously can probably use the Abyss. We're cooked. We're fucking cooked. That's why Oda has been de-escalating the tension. I knew it. This is clear. There's a reason. Oda has been de-escalating the tension. He's been chipping away at the tension since the flashback ended. We have seen... Every little issue has been solved. And this chapter is the ultimate version of that. We're literally looking all across Elbaf. Okay, we're chill with this. This is being dealt with. This is still kind of bad, but we're dealing with it. Blah, 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 blah. Emu themselves got dealt with in this chapter. or Imunko, right? So it's like, okay, is the arc just over? Clearly not. This is very suspicious, right? The whole chapter is very suspicious. I mean, we got the Biblo stuff as well. So we need to de-escalate the tension. I thought Oda was going to have Imu just break out of the ice and be like, fuck you guys, I'm going to do some crazy ass attack, you're cooked. No, this is worse. This is not worse as in like from a writing perspective. This is worse for our characters. Imu themselves is showing up to Elbaf. What the hell? Also, it's in Rubble. What the fuck happened here? What happened here? Elders, and we see someone else in the holy room. Does Imu have multiple attendants? Because they're talking through Den and Mushi, so they're not actually in the flower room. Imu is... No, we're cooked. Because obviously they're going to teleport... Wait, are we gonna get the Imu face reveal? Bro, I just realized that. Oh my god. Are we gonna get the Imu face reveal? Bro, because, okay, well, some people might have argued, is Imu actually a face, especially since, is Imu actually a person, especially since God Valley, where, we saw, Imu coming out from Saturn, and then even Roger or something commented that, what's that black monster? And people were like, is Imu even a silhouette? And my thoughts since then have always been that yes, what they saw at God Valley and what I guess we also saw in this chapter, yes, that is a black thing. That is a black, monster thing, whatever, right? How we see it is exactly how they see it, right? All these characters. This though, I think this version of Imu, the one that's like small and smaller, in the Holy Land, I still think this is a silhouette. I still think this is a silhouette. I still think they're gonna be. Are we going to get it revealed? Again, that's the mindset I have about Imu being a silhouette. So, and I've always had this thought. I've always had this thought for a while now that the perfect way to begin the final war is beginning. Oh my God, Ragnarok is going to happen. I've always thought that the perfect way to begin the final war, right? We're already in the final saga, but to begin the final war is to do two things, right? But primarily, number one is to do an Imu face reveal. Again, assuming Imu is still a silhouette, like right here. That would be the perfect way to begin it, right? We've already been introduced to Imu, but just showing what they look like is like the perfect, Oda's like, we're in. It's a perfect introduction. It's the perfect way to begin the final war, to finally give us an Imu face reveal after 8 years or some shit, that would be the perfect way to begin the final war. That's always the way I've always pictured it as well, like Imu being in the flower room and then just coming out. There's like a door or something to like a little courtyard thing, and like as they walk out, the rays of the sun, because I'm assuming it'll be during daytime, and they shine on their face, and slowly, in one panel they're still a silhouette, and then big panel, the sun shines on their face, and we finally get to see what they look like. That's how I've always pictured it, but. It might just be an Elbaf, right? Imu face reveal in Elbaf. That's how I've always pictured it. I think that's a perfect way to begin the final war. And by the way, that other second way to begin the final war also is just having Vivi reunite with the Straw Hats. That's also having a crew member that's not been on our ship for so long reuniting. That's also the perfect way to signal, we're this is the beginning of the end. But this, oh my God, this chapter was insane. Okay. Quickly recap, I guess, Loki, Oda's been de-escalating tension. This fight wasn't that hard with Imu and stuff. They froze Imu, and I guess they can't regenerate from, They can't regenerate when frozen or something? I don't know. Emu's a fraud? Question mark? Where's your Conqueror's Haki, little bro? But then this, and then we saw everything else in the chapter de-escalate. Again, Oda's de-escalating the tension. Everything's chill, right? Biblo, I don't even know. Again, like last chapter with Chopper, I'm not going to even begin to fucking theorize about that. We're cooked. We're fucking cooked. We're cooked. Emu's here. We're done. They're going to I'm assuming they're going to teleport through the abyss, pentagram in the castle. And what are we going to do? We're not going to be able to do anything. Right? Assuming that Emu's really that big and that big shot, that's been hyped up, we're not going to be able to do anything. We're cooked. So what does that mean for the end of the arc? that means a lot of things. I think the end of this arc is not going to be normal. I think we're going to be defeated, but we're not going to die. It's going to be weird, right? Because we're not going to die, but we might get defeated. But then people online, and myself might even say this. I might be like, why didn't IMU just finish them off? Because they're not going to fucking die. They're not going to die. None of the Straw Hats are not going to die. But at the same time, IMU's coming to Elbaf. So, I don't know. We'll see what Oda does with that and the implications of that, but I don't think this arc is going to be ending normally anymore. I think IMU's going to show up. IMU's going to start doing shit. Well, just start, destroying everyone, probably. I think the tree, I mean, I've always thought of the Elbaf, the Atom Tree, like, literally, like, catching flames and just burning and falling. Like, that's the start of Ragnarok. I've always imagined that, like, ever since the beginning of this arc, when we saw there was a big-ass tree in the middle of this island. And that might happen, right? I haven't really been thinking about it recently and how that actually would happen, right? It'd be Loki, destruction. But if IMU is here, I think IMU could, burn down that tree. And we're cooked. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it for this reaction. Holy shit. This is real, right? I'm not like freaking out. Like my freak out is not like unjustified. I'm like not freaking out. Like, why are you freaking out, David? No, this Holy Land, Elders. Yeah, IMU's coming to Elbaf. Okay. Bro, that's crazy. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm just still processing all this. Fuck. Is there a break? There's no break. I think there's no break. I just realized because I haven't been on Twitter for like a while because I stopped looking at it for like a day, and then I wanted to catch up to all my tweets, but I couldn't. So I haven't been on Twitter for like a long time, so I haven't seen Pew Piece. I don't think there's a break. It would have said break right here. We're done. We're fucking cooked. Oh, yeah, that's it. This was probably very long-winded. This might be frustrating to just watch me just like kind of ramble and not be, focused in my discussion, but yeah. Yeah, 51 minutes here. So yeah, that's about it. See you next week, I think. I'll still say I think because it's not confirmed, but I don't think there's a break. So goodbye. We're done. We're good.